What's up, my YouTube family? Sergeant Graybeard back with another Division 2 video. Today is Tuesday, March 30th, and as always, I hope this message finds you healthy and safe. In today's video, my friends, I'm going to be going over the weekly vendor resets for DC, New York, and the Dark Zone. We'll talk about all of the different events that are going on in the game right now, and I also like to pass along a few reminders I feel you should be doing every Tuesday. Now, if you happen to be new here, first of all, welcome. Secondly, feel free to hit that subscribe button. We would love for you to be a part of our gaming family. And if you enjoyed this or found it helpful at all, take a quick second and hit that like button. It really does help us out. So as most of you know by now, the global event Golden Bullet has been extended one more week, which is absolutely awesome because I know a lot of players out there, they view this as their favorite global event by far. Now, your stars should have transferred over from last week to this week. Let me know if you had a problem with that. Now, thankfully, you still have the opportunity to complete any of the daily challenges you may have missed last week. In order to do so, just go to the screen. You're going to hover over the day you'd like to activate, push down on the left directional pad, and you are good to go. Today also introduces the next target in the manhunt, which is Venus. Now, for some reason on that screen, it may say the target is locked. That's not the case. When you go over to the main manhunt screen, you can see she is available, and these are all the things you need to do in order to gain access to that target. Today also happens to be the day where the weekly projects reset, which gives you 3 really easy ways to get exotic caches. Starting off with the weekly summit project, my friends, all you need to do is complete 30 floors on the summit on any difficulty. Next, you have the weekly shade requisition, where all you need to do is donate some materials, items, stuff like that. And then finally, for those of you that have the ability to, there's the weekly legendary mission. Next, as always, I want to take a second and show you the location of the SNITCH. Now, for those of you that may not know, finding the SNITCH on Tuesday gains you access to the gunrunner Cassie Mendoza every Wednesday. Now, as I'm sure most of you know by now, there happen to be multiple places on the map that he can show up. This happens to be my favorite. If he's not there, I reset my control points and go back. And again, once you talk to him, an icon will pop up giving you a timer on when Cassie is available and what location she will be at. A few more things, my friends, then we're going to get on to the vendors themselves. First of all, this week's invaded missions are Jefferson Trade Center, American History Museum, and Camp White Oak. Completing those missions will then gain you access to the District Union Arena, which will then gain you access to Tidal Basin. One final thing I want to point out, and this is for players who do not have the Diamondback exotic rifle as yet, is you can get that at Kenley College, and it is open this week. The weapon happens to be a guaranteed drop from doing all of these 3 missions there. I don't know why it's open some weeks it's not, but again, it's open now, so if you do not have the Diamondback, this is the week you want to grab the thing. With all of that being said, my friends, let's now make our way to the vendors. As always, I kind of ripped through this, but I will definitely stop on items which I feel are definite must-buys. Starting off in the White House, we have a named SMG, Emil's Guard, pretty decent, and the one thing I want to point out, and this is really for new players or players just returning, is really take your time going through the vendors, look for anything that can improve your recalibration library. And the reason I bring that up is sometimes there are items for sale that may have a talent that you're looking for, but it also has an attribute that's higher than you have in your library. So again, take your time, go through these individually, and really look for things that can improve your character and your library itself. Nothing to really speak of so far. We had a named marksman rifle at the top. It was pretty decent. Eclipse Protocol. What do we have here? AR, not bad. Pretty decent handgun there, that's for sure. Pretty decent knee pads. Not so great on the handgun there. Really nice SMG there. I'd definitely pick that up. Next, we have a mask, some body armor. Nothing too great there. Then some mods and skill attachments. Now let's make our way to the campus. And as we roll up, let's see what we have. We have the new Reliable. This is an awesome LMG. I know the roll isn't the best, but if you want to take the time, if you don't have one and you want to take the time to optimize this thing, it shoots like a laser pointer. Absolutely fantastic. After that, we had a marksman rifle, an LMG, mask, holster, mods, and skill attachments. Now let's make our way to the theater. And one thing I want to mention, actually, as we move on, is it's really with the vendor resets. Some weeks it's great, you get a bunch of great stuff, like right here, firm handshake, definitely, without a doubt, pick these things up. Now for these gloves, you definitely want to re-roll that bottom attribute, but I would also suggest getting a few pairs of these because that way you can re-roll them any way you want. If you need to pull some of those attributes for your recalibration library, you have so many different options. Continuing on, we have a pretty decent shotgun, we have an urban MDR, not bad there, some gloves, some knee pads, not that great, mods and skill attachments. Now let's make our way to the first Dark Zone West. Now, most of you know by now, I really don't play in the Dark Zone that often, and I've heard from a lot of you saying the same. It's just, the gameplay, there's cheating, there's hacking, there's a bunch of stuff going on, so it's really not the most enjoyable place for players to be right now. However, there can be some great DZ exclusive items, and you always want to check out the vendor for those. Therefore, the reason I go through these vendors on a weekly basis is just for that purpose. If I'm looking for something that I only know drops in the Dark Zone and it's for sale, even though it, still forces me to go in the Dark Zone, get resources in order to buy things, that's fine, but it does at least give me a better opportunity of getting an item I'm looking for. Which actually brings me back to talking about the global event that's going on right now. Now, for those of you that may not know, you can use those stars and you can buy named caches. And in named caches, you can find Dark Zone exclusives. So if you happen to be a player that does not like going into the Dark Zone at all, but there are certain things you're missing out on, I suggest stacking up those stars from earning them during the global event, hitting up the global event vendor, and then buying those named caches because that is a way you can get DZ exclusives without actually going into the DZ. And by the way, for those of you that love hitting the Dark Zone, go crazy, man. Go ham. Have fun. Do your thing. I just know that for a lot of people, it's one of those things where the loot hasn't been that great recently, and the risk versus reward or time spent really hasn't matched up evenly. And as we make our way to New York and the final two vendors, and I start to wrap this video up, I want to once again stress for people who are new, just returning to the game, all of these things, take your time through the vendors. I know for myself, this is my Xbox character, but when I log in for PlayStation, I'm going to go through these things one by one. And the reason for that is simple. For my PlayStation character, I'm at Shade level 7, so I'm as weak as a baby kitten in regards to the attributes and talents and skills. My library is empty, so this will give me the opportunity to pick up some things, strengthen the library, and just build up my character overall. With that being said, my friends, I'm going to start to wrap this video up. As always, I want to take a moment and thank you all for your continued support. We are going to be hitting our 1-year anniversary next Sunday, April 4th. We're about to crack 13,000 subscribers, and I owe it all to you. You guys are absolutely amazing. As always, please make sure if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments section down below. You guys know I built this channel so we could work together as a community, so let me know what's going on, and if I can help you out with your gameplay in any way, I will definitely do my best to do so. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this thing, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this, you can hit that like button as well. It really, really does help us out, but most importantly, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.